Hey everyone, today I'm going to take you on a fascinating journey through history, specifically how India pulled off one of the greatest strategic maneuvers of the 20th century to become a nuclear superpower. Picture this. It's the Cold War era. The world is divided between two superpower blocs led by the United States and the Soviet Union. In the midst of this global tension, India, a relatively new and developing nation, is secretly laying down the foundation to join the elite club of nuclear-armed states. Now, you might wonder, how did India manage to fool both America and Pakistan? Let's start with the context. In the 1960s, India was facing security threats from its neighbors, China and Pakistan. After a humiliating defeat in the 1962 Sino-Indian War, India knew it needed to bolster its defense capabilities. Enter Homi J. Bhabha, the father of India's nuclear program. Bhabha had a vision and, more importantly, a plan. The Indian government publicly maintained that its nuclear program was for peaceful purposes only. But behind the scenes, things were different. India's first big move came with the establishment of its first nuclear reactor, the Cyrus reactor, in collaboration with Canada and support from the United States under the Atoms for Peace program. This was a genius move. By appearing to be a cooperative player in the global nuclear landscape, India diverted suspicion while developing the technical know-how to build nuclear weapons. Fast forward to the 1970s. India conducts its first nuclear test in 1974, codenamed Smiling Buddha. The world was shocked, especially the United States and Pakistan. So how did India keep this under wraps? It's simple: deception and timing. While the world was focused on the Vietnam War and Middle Eastern conflicts, India optimized this distraction to test its nuclear device. And let's not forget about the role of diplomacy. By maintaining cordial relations with both superpowers and aligning with the non-aligned movement, India ensured that it wouldn't be singled out or targeted for sanctions. Even after the test, India continued to maintain the narrative of peaceful nuclear intent, thereby avoiding severe international backlash. It wasn't until the 1990s, under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, that India openly declared itself a nuclear weapons state with a series of tests in 1998, known as Operation Shakti. In summary, India's journey to becoming a nuclear power was marked by strategic deception, clever diplomacy, and perfect timing. This remarkable tale is a testament to the lengths nations will go to safeguard their sovereignty and security. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing stories from the past. Until next time, stay curious. After gaining independence in 1947, India, under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, focused on scientific and technological progress as part of nation building. Nehru believed that a strong scientific foundation was essential for India's development and future security. With this vision in mind, he laid the groundwork for India's entry into the nuclear age. In the 1950s, India joined the US-led Atoms for Peace program. This initiative was designed to promote the peaceful use of nuclear energy for development and was a key part of America's Cold War strategy to counter Soviet influence. For India, it was an opportunity to acquire civilian nuclear technology and expertise, which was crucial for its burgeoning nuclear ambitions. The Atoms for Peace program provided India with access to nuclear reactors, fuel, and technical training. Indian scientists, including the visionary Homi J. Bhabha, seized this opportunity to advance their knowledge and capabilities. Bhabha, often referred to as the father of India's nuclear program, had a clear understanding of the dual-use potential of nuclear technology. While the official narrative was focused on peaceful applications, Bhabha and many Indian leaders saw nuclear energy as an important strategic asset. Under the guise of peaceful development, India began to lay the foundation for a potential nuclear weapons program. Laboratories were set up, research was conducted, and a cadre of skilled scientists and engineers was trained. The dual-use nature of nuclear technology meant that advancements in civilian nuclear energy could easily be adapted for military purposes. Nehru's vision and Bhabha's leadership set the stage for India's future nuclear ambitions. The Atoms for Peace program, intended to foster global cooperation and development, inadvertently became a stepping stone for India's journey toward becoming a nuclear power. This early phase was marked by a delicate balance between maintaining international goodwill and quietly building the technical capabilities needed for a future nuclear weapons program. As we move forward in this story, we'll see how these early aspirations and strategic decisions played a crucial role in India's path to nuclear capability. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the next chapter of this fascinating journey. As the 1960s dawned, a significant shift began to take place in India's nuclear strategy. The early aspirations of peaceful nuclear energy use were gradually giving way to a more strategic and defensive stance. The turning point came in 1964, when China conducted its first successful nuclear test. This event sent shockwaves across the region and significantly altered the geopolitical landscape. For India, China's nuclear capability was a direct threat. The Indian leadership, recognizing the precarious position they were in, decided that a similar capability was necessary to ensure national security and regional stability. The peaceful facade of India's nuclear program started to crack as the focus began to shift towards weaponization. In 1967, India established the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, or BARC, named after the visionary Homi J. Bhabha, who had tragically died in a plane crash the previous year. BARC was tasked with developing nuclear weapons capabilities, marking a clear departure from the earlier emphasis on peaceful nuclear energy. The establishment of BARC was a testament to India's resolve to develop a credible nuclear deterrent. Under the leadership of Dr. Raja Ramana, BARC began intensive research and development aimed at creating a nuclear weapon. The scientists and engineers who had been trained under the Atoms for Peace program now found their skills being redirected towards more strategic and military applications. Laboratories that once focused on civilian nuclear technology now buzzed with secretive projects and classified research. The international community, particularly the United States, was wary but largely unaware of the full extent of India's nuclear ambitions. India continued to maintain a delicate balance, projecting an image of peaceful nuclear development while steadily progressing towards weaponization. This dual-track approach allowed India to advance its nuclear weapons program without drawing too much international scrutiny. By the end of the 1960s, the groundwork was laid, and India was on the cusp of becoming a nuclear weapons state. The next steps would involve not just scientific and technical challenges, but also navigating the complex political and diplomatic landscape that awaited them. Stay with us as we uncover the next chapter in India's journey to becoming a nuclear superpower. The stakes are high, and the story only gets more intense from here. In 1974, India conducted its first successful nuclear test, known as Smiling Buddha, at the Pokhran test site in Rajasthan. This was a peaceful nuclear explosion, PNE, which was presented by India as a demonstration of peaceful nuclear technology rather than a weapon test. India's success surprised the world, including the United States. The test was kept secret for several years, and India initially denied the nature of the explosion. The test itself was modest, but it marked India's entry into the nuclear club. But the true story behind Smiling Buddha is far more intricate and dramatic. The test was the culmination of years of covert research and political maneuvering. The Indian government had to navigate a labyrinth of international scrutiny, diplomatic pressures, and internal challenges. The choice of the Pokhran test site was deliberate, chosen for its remote location to minimize detection and fallout. The scientists at BARC, led by Dr. Raja Ramana, worked tirelessly under immense secrecy and pressure. Every detail, from the transportation of nuclear materials to the construction of the test facility, was shrouded in utmost confidentiality. The codename Smiling Buddha was itself a strategic misdirection, aimed at projecting serenity and peace. while achieving a monumental leap in military capability. When the test was finally conducted on May 18, 1974, the world was caught off guard. The explosion, though moderate in yield, sent shockwaves through the international community. It was a bold statement of India's technological prowess and strategic intent. Despite India's claims of a peaceful nuclear explosion, the geopolitical implications were unmistakable. The balance of power in South Asia had shifted, and a new nuclear player had emerged on the global stage. The Smiling Buddha test was not just a scientific achievement, it was a testament to India's resilience and strategic foresight. It set the stage for future advancements and established India as a formidable nuclear power. As we move forward, we'll explore the aftermath of this historic test and how it shaped India's nuclear policy in the decades to come. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the complex web of diplomacy, strategy, and technology that defined India's journey to becoming a nuclear superpower. The story is far from over, and the stakes are higher than ever. Despite the Smiling Buddha test, India continued to play a delicate diplomatic game, positioning itself as a leader of the non-aligned movement and promoting its nuclear program as being for peaceful purposes. However, the international community, particularly the United States, was not convinced. The US and other Western countries responded with swift and severe sanctions against India. These sanctions targeted India's access to nuclear technology and materials, significantly impacting its nuclear program. The US also led efforts to create and strengthen international bodies like the Nuclear Suppliers Group, NSG. The NSG was established to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons technology to countries outside the established nuclear powers, making it more challenging for India to acquire the resources it needed for further nuclear development. The global reaction was a mix of condemnation and caution. Many countries viewed India's actions as a destabilizing move in the already volatile South Asian region. Pakistan, India's neighbor and rival, felt particularly threatened and accelerated its own nuclear program in response. This set off a nuclear arms race in South Asia, further complicating the geopolitical landscape. Despite the international pressure and isolation, India remained steadfast in its nuclear ambitions. The Indian government and scientific community worked tirelessly to develop indigenous solutions and reduce dependency on foreign technology. This period of sanctions and scrutiny only strengthened India's resolve to achieve self-reliance in nuclear technology. The Smiling Buddha test and its aftermath marked a turning point in India's nuclear journey. It was a period of intense challenges and strategic maneuvering, but it also laid the groundwork for India's future as a nuclear superpower. As we continue to explore this fascinating story, we'll see how India navigated the complex web of diplomacy, strategy, and technology to emerge as a formidable nuclear power on the global stage. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we'll delve into the steps India took to overcome international isolation and continue its pursuit of nuclear capability. The journey is far from over, and the stakes are higher than ever. As the world reacted with sanctions and isolation, India found itself at a crossroads. The path forward was fraught with challenges, but the nation was determined to navigate it with strategic precision. India's nuclear ambition was not just a matter of national pride. It was driven by multiple, deeply rooted strategic considerations. First and foremost, regional security was a significant concern. With China's growing nuclear capabilities and Pakistan's military ambitions, India needed to establish a credible deterrent. In the volatile landscape of South Asia, nuclear weapons were seen as a necessary shield. While Pakistan's nuclear program was still in its infancy during the 1970s, India's leadership recognized the potential threat it posed. A robust nuclear arsenal was deemed essential to prevent any form of aggression from its neighbors. Deterrence was another critical factor. India sought to create a formidable nuclear deterrent to ward off any nuclear threats or conventional attacks. The perception was clear: without nuclear weapons, India could be vulnerable to the larger military powers in the region, particularly China and Pakistan. The goal was to ensure that any adversary would think twice before challenging India's sovereignty. Domestic politics also played a crucial role in shaping India's nuclear strategy. The desire for national pride and global recognition fueled the country's nuclear ambitions. The nuclear tests were not just scientific achievements, they were powerful statements of self-reliance and sovereignty. India wanted to be seen as a global power, capable of standing on its own in a world dominated by established nuclear states. In the face of international pressure, India's resolve only grew stronger. The government and scientific community worked tirelessly to develop indigenous solutions, reducing dependence on foreign technology. This period of sanctions and scrutiny became a catalyst for innovation and self-reliance. India's strategic calculations during this era laid the foundation for its future as a nuclear superpower. The journey was far from over, and the stakes were higher than ever. As we continue to explore this fascinating story, we'll see how India navigated the complex web of diplomacy, strategy, and technology to emerge as a formidable nuclear power on the global stage. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we'll delve into the steps India took to overcome international isolation and continue its pursuit of nuclear capability. The journey is far from over, and the stakes are higher than ever. In 1998, under the leadership of Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, India took a bold and decisive step that would forever alter its position on the global stage. In a series of 5 nuclear tests conducted in the remote desert of Pokhran, codenamed Operation Shakti, India declared itself unequivocally as a nuclear weapons state. This was a far more significant and definitive move than the 1974 Smiling Buddha test, sending ripples through the international community. The tests were shrouded in absolute secrecy, catching the world by surprise. The successful detonation of these nuclear devices was not just a demonstration of India's technological prowess, but also a calculated response to mounting security concerns. With Pakistan's nuclear program advancing and China's nuclear modernization posing a constant threat, India felt compelled to solidify its deterrent capabilities. The global reaction was swift and severe. The United States, along with many other nations, condemned the tests and imposed economic sanctions on India. Yet, amidst the chorus of disapproval, India stood firm, justifying its actions as a necessary measure to safeguard its national security in a volatile region. Interestingly, the long-term implications of these tests were more nuanced. Despite initial diplomatic fallout, the strategic landscape began to shift, especially after the events of 9/11 and the subsequent war on terror. These global developments brought India and the United States closer together, transforming the US-India relationship from one of sanction and suspicion to one of strategic partnership. India's journey to becoming a recognized nuclear power was fraught with challenges, but the 1998 tests marked a turning point. It demonstrated India's resolve to protect its sovereignty and secure its place in the global order. The road ahead would continue to be complex, but India had firmly established itself as a formidable nuclear power, ready to face the challenges of the 21st century. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the intricate web of diplomacy, strategy, and innovation that has shaped India's nuclear journey. The story is far from over, and the next chapter promises even more fascinating insights into India's rise as a global power. As the dust settled from the 1998 nuclear tests, India found itself at a crossroads. The global reaction had been severe, but it was clear that India had firmly established itself as a nuclear power. What followed was a remarkable transformation in India's international standing, culminating in a landmark agreement that would redefine its relationship with the United States. In 2005, after years of meticulous diplomatic engagement, India and the United States reached a historic agreement to cooperate on nuclear energy. The US-India Civil Nuclear Agreement, often referred to as the 1-23 Agreement, was a game-changer. It allowed India to access civilian nuclear technology and fuel from the US and other countries in exchange for placing some of its nuclear reactors under international safeguards. This agreement marked a significant shift in US policy toward India. For decades, India had been viewed with suspicion and faced numerous sanctions. But now, the United States saw India as a crucial partner in maintaining stability in Asia, particularly as a counterbalance to China's growing influence. The deal was more than just a bilateral agreement. It was a tacit acceptance of India as a de facto nuclear power, despite the country not having signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. This was a monumental step forward for India, signaling its arrival as a responsible and significant player on the global stage. The US-India nuclear deal also had profound implications for India's energy security. With access to advanced nuclear technology and fuel, India could address its growing energy needs while reducing its reliance on fossil fuels. This was a critical development for a nation poised for rapid economic growth. The agreement wasn't without its critics. Some argued that it undermined the global non-proliferation regime, while others feared it would lead to an arms race in South Asia. However, the strategic calculus was clear. A stronger, more stable India was in the best interest of global security. As India continued to navigate its complex nuclear journey, the US-India nuclear deal of 2005 stood as a testament to the power of diplomacy and strategic partnerships. It showcased India's ability to leverage its nuclear capability for broader international cooperation and set the stage for a new era in US-India relations. Join us in the next chapter as we explore the ripple effects of this groundbreaking agreement and how it shaped India's future on the global stage. The story of India's nuclear ascent is a tale of ambition, resilience, and strategic ingenuity, and it continues to unfold in fascinating ways. Pakistan's role in India's nuclear development is crucial. The rivalry between India and Pakistan, particularly after the partition in 1947, led both nations to seek nuclear capabilities. As neighbors with a history of conflict, their nuclear ambitions were deeply intertwined. In response to India's 1974 Smiling Buddha test, Pakistan accelerated its own nuclear weapons program. The stakes were raised when, in 1998, following India's tests, Pakistan also conducted nuclear tests, officially becoming a nuclear weapons state. This tit-for-tat escalation marked a significant moment in South Asian history, as both countries now possessed nuclear arsenals. India's nuclear weapons program was shaped, in part, by Pakistan's pursuit of similar capabilities. The two countries have maintained a tense and often volatile relationship, with both sides viewing their nuclear arsenals as critical to national security. This mutual deterrence has created a delicate balance of power in the region, where any misstep could have catastrophic consequences. The nuclear arms race between India and Pakistan has also drawn international concern. Global powers, including the United States, have often intervened to de-escalate tensions and promote dialogue. However, the underlying issues remain complex and deeply rooted in historical grievances. As we reflect on the US-India nuclear deal of 2005, it's clear that regional dynamics played a significant role in shaping India's nuclear strategy. The agreement not only solidified India's status as a nuclear power, but also highlighted the intricate web of relationships and rivalries that define South Asia's security landscape. Join us in the next chapter as we delve into the broader implications of India's nuclear journey and how it continues to influence global geopolitics. The story of India's ascent to nuclear superpower status is far from over, and its impact will be felt for generations to come. The notion that India fooled the US or Pakistan is an exaggeration. India pursued a calculated and strategic approach, leveraging its scientific and technological capabilities, its regional security concerns, and its diplomatic acumen. While the US and Pakistan may have been surprised or caught off guard by India's nuclear advancements, India's nuclear program was the result of careful long-term planning rather than deception. In essence, India worked within international systems, often exploiting gaps or taking advantage of global political dynamics to quietly build a nuclear capability. This, combined with careful diplomacy and strategic thinking, enabled India to achieve nuclear power status without significant external intervention or opposition. India's journey to becoming a nuclear superpower was marked by strategic foresight and meticulous execution. It skillfully navigated through the complexities of international politics, regional rivalries, and technological challenges to secure its place on the global stage. The story of India's ascent is a testament to the power of strategic vision and the importance of national resilience. As we reflect on this remarkable journey, it's clear that India's nuclear strategy was not about fooling the world, but about securing its sovereignty and ensuring its place in the global order. The implications of India's nuclear capabilities continue to shape regional and global geopolitics, reminding us that the pursuit of national security is often a complex and multifaceted endeavor. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of India's nuclear journey. Stay tuned for more insightful content on the intricate dynamics of global geopolitics. In conclusion, India's journey to becoming a nuclear superpower is a tale of strategic brilliance, resilience, and determination. Despite facing numerous challenges and international scrutiny, India managed to achieve its nuclear ambitions while maintaining a delicate balance in regional and global dynamics. This story serves as a testament to the nation's unwavering commitment to its security and sovereignty. Thank you for watching.